Today we're watching some horror shorts. I hope you like this video because I just want to see if you like Freaky Friday. Sorry I'm a bit late with Freaky Friday. I just want to go through it maybe and just enjoy myself the rest of the while. For now, I'm just going to do Freaky Friday, the first animation.
This is a story that took place back when I was living with my ex-girlfriend, Jasmine. I had recently moved from my parents' house and into an apartment complex where it was surprisingly quieter compared to the suburban area I was used to. Jasmine and I were both college graduates who worked full-time in our respective fields of study.
Okay.
I was in the construction business as I was always a blue-collar kind of guy.
I know this guy. See that arrow? Yeah, that's him. I know him. He's a joker.
Who enjoyed hands-on work revolving around the trades industry. Jasmine was a financial advisor, so she usually got to work from home while I had the usual 9-to-5 that I've become accustomed to for the latter part of my life.
Oh.
On my off time, I would usually hang out with Jasmine at our local park or simply kick back and binge watch several shows on Netflix till I had completely passed out. Going to our local park around the evening time became a daily occurrence of ours, as rowing back and forth on the swings was Jasmine's way of de-stressing just before the very next day at work.
Okay.
This became a daily routine of ours since moving in.
Grinch looking, bro. Grinch is right there. Nah, that's just funny. Okay, let's go on animation.
To the new neighborhood, just so we could feel more comfortable within our new whereabouts. Well, at least with the exception of Saturday nights, when I usually video called 3 close friends of mine from where I originally resided. Their names were Joe, Max, and Steve. This was a way I could stay connected with my friends, as I didn't want to tarnish my friendships with them, nor did I want to be known as the odd friend who cuts people off because he was quote-unquote whipped. Hey Rick, how's your stay over there? Must be good getting some action with all your parents in the next room, huh? No comment. Hey boys, we gonna keep talking about Ricky's love life, or we gonna get this party started? Cheers to that, Stevie boy. Dang, what's the rush? We have all night, dude. Alright, who wants to go first? This was how me and my friends socially interacted with one another. We shared our personal scary stories and videos from around the internet that would be categorized within the horror genre. My friends and I have been horror addicts since childhood, so geeking over anything horror related was equivalent to our summer camp days back when we were still in elementary school. I didn't want to abruptly end the so-called tradition we had established despite living miles away from them, so I would make sure I video called them every so often. I recall dozing off from the lackluster stories being shared by my 2 friends Joe and Max, until it was Steve's turn to share his story. You guys ever been on the dark web? No, not me. Not me. Dude, don't tell me you actually went on it. I personally didn't, but my younger brother did. He recently showed me this weird snuff film the other day that I thought you guys might like. I personally felt intrigued by the idea as I didn't know or see much content regarding the dark web. All I knew was that it was a hidden browser that sold illegal products you would find on the street, except everything was online. Or at least on the dark side of the internet. That's when Steve extemporaneously invites his younger brother in his room and introduces him. Hey boys, say hi to... Everything was online, or at least on the dark side of the internet. That's when Steve extemporaneously invites his younger...
That's not a younger brother, that's a full-grown man.
Brother in his room and introduces him. Hey boys, say hi to my brother Eric. What up?
Full-grown man. He's the same size as you. He's the same size as you. That's a full-grown man. I bet he's older than you.
Dude, what's up, Eric? You guys want to see something cool? Hell yeah. Sure, dude. This better be good or else I want 5 minutes of my life back. Eric shares his screen and opens up a video from an array of MP4 files shown on a folder. I then saw a low-quality video of a woman suspended in midair with her arms and feet attached with steel chains. She was oriented in this awkward bird-like position, almost like her perpetrator had no intentions of providing any circulation to the woman's extremities. I could see this poor lady desperately
What the?
wailing through the duct tape on her mouth while hopelessly trying to free herself by vigorously shaking her arms and legs. I remember gasping in awe as I didn't know if this was some sort of weird hoax or if this was a legitimate snuff film about to unfold. That's when I heard a loud sound abruptly come from the background, like someone
Leatherface.
was revving an engine to a motor of something. I then saw a large man approaching the woman while wearing a pig mask and holding a running chainsaw.
Leatherface.
Third fashion. It looked like some psycho wanting to Renaissance Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Exactly.
Based on the way he held the chainsaw and the attire he presented himself in. You're my lucky number 20. You know,
20?
I never thought I'd reach this milestone.
20 victims. Congrats. On being the first 20 to die.
No, all that hard labor just to get to you. Do you even know what you put me through? Huh? Tell the people watching at home how much you appreciate my hard work. Say it! That's what I thought. To appreciate my
wanna show
hard
this.
work. Say it!
His face reaction is the same thing I'm feeling right now. That's my face reaction right now. Yeah, that's my reaction.
That's what I thought. You're going to be the best doll I've ever had. You complete me.
Rick, what the hell is going on? What are you watching?
Jasmine, get out! I don't want you seeing this! That's when the pig man began to pierce
Oh!
the chainsaw into the woman's arms and legs as each limb dropped from her torso and was left dangling from each chain.
Whoa.
No. This can't be real. What kind of sick person would do this to someone? I remember feeling the sensation of a trickle of blood running down my nostrils as I see my friends visibly shaken up by the footage. The woman had all 4 of her limbs dissected by the chainsaw as she eventually collapsed on the floor and began having a seizure. I abruptly end the video call. I couldn't watch that anymore. I decided to message my friends through a group chat saying that I was throwing in the towel and heading to bed. Trying to comprehend what had just occurred was
Bro ain't sleeping right anymore. Bro sleeping with one eye open.
almost impossible. I couldn't help but tremble in the same spot for about several minutes. I eventually end up crawling into bed and laying next to Jasmine while trying to force myself to sleep and not think about what transpired on that video chat. This is when the story gets more disturbing. Fast forward about 2 years, my life has taken a drastic turn for the worst. My girlfriend and I mutually agreed to separate while my dad passed away at the age of 45 due to heart failure, leaving my mother and 3 children, including myself, alone. I never felt so depressed in my life. I would sometimes spontaneously cry at work while trying to hide my emotions from the other employees. It honestly felt like the days were getting longer and my weekends were getting shorter as time went on. I couldn't help but think that that video was some kind of curse. I remember being at the stage where I completely isolated myself from everyone around me, including my close relatives. I eventually developed an obsession over the dark web and installed a Tor browser on my laptop. I wanted to climb further down the rabbit hole. I wanted to see if I could discover anything related to the pigman or the woman he had mutilated that night. I recall surfing the Hidden Wiki only to come across a few links selling various weapons, illegal services, and narcotics. I obviously wasn't interested in such things, so I began browsing some more. After 2 hours of intense searching, I found similar style images of females having their extremities amputated and then being sold as so-called dolls. I then came across an MP4 file on the homepage of one of the links on the Hidden Wiki. I pressed play and saw a video of a woman swinging back and forth on a swing with a paper mask on her face. This honestly looked like the same setting as the previous video. I then saw this same large man
Oh, that's his wife.
approach her as he kicked the poor lady off of the swing and began yelling, "Bark for me! Now walk, doll!" That's when the amputated woman began walking on all fours as if she was a stray dog or something. As the pig man got closer to the camera, I could see he was wearing what looked like the skin face of an actual human.
Oh,
What makes the story more disturbing was how similar the skin mask looked in comparison to Jasmine's face. From the
he did
identical
that to her.
freckles to the skin complexion to the swing, all the pieces were starting to add up as I genuinely believed this woman could potentially be my ex-girlfriend Jasmine. I then Googled Jasmine's name, only to find her in a missing persons report. Several months later, my speculation would finally come to a halting stop as Jasmine's body was found in a black garbage bag, located in a dumpster outside a meat market. At the time that this occurred, Jasmine was found unresponsive and in critical condition. She was eventually taken to the hospital and miraculously survived her injuries. About a year or two after her recovery, she was given a formal unpublished interview, but it was reported that she had suffered from severe Stockholm Syndrome. This is what it looked like. Today is currently Wednesday.
Damn. Oh, don't touch. Oh.
The 21st. The time is approximately 3 p.m. in the afternoon. We are here with Jasmine, who will briefly answer questions based on her current health and share her story. Now, Jasmine, if you feel uncomfortable at all during the interview, feel free to let us know and we'll take a break, okay?
I want to return home to Master Swing, where the world is divine and the dolls are beautiful.
So, first and foremost, how is your health today?
I want to return home to Master Swing, where the world
Master Swing
is divine and the dolls are beautiful.
Jasmine, how would you describe your experience while being held in captivity?
I want to return home to Master Swing, where the world is divine and the dolls are beautiful.
Can you describe your captor's appearance? Jasmine, are you okay? Do you need some water?
Home to Master Swing,
Oh,
where
crap.
the world is divine and the dolls are beautiful. I want to return home to Master Swing, where the world is divine and the dolls are beautiful.
Can you please tell us what his name
Master
is?
Swing, where the world is divine and the dolls are beautiful. I want to return home to Master
Jasmine,
Swing,
please,
where the world
disclose
is
your
divine
captor's
and
name
the
to
dolls
us.
are beautiful. I want to return. His name is Pighead.
Pighead. Okay guys, welcome to this video. I'm sorry for interrupting the videos for the second animation. First animation is practically about this guy, right? He is the serial killer. With the second animation too, guys. Welcome to the animation. This is the last one. But I can't take no more.
This is a story that took place when I was around 18 years old. I still get the creeps just thinking about it.
Wait. So he was the one who did that to her. Oh.
The mental trauma I endured from the horrendous depictions of what transpired several years ago still appear in my head from time to time. I currently see a psychiatrist to help ease the mental anguish, as I now have a tendency of spasming out during my sleep from the nightmares that manifest every night.
Oh.
It all started when I was in my freshman year in college. I was studying to be an accountant, which was relatively difficult considering the overwhelming amount of math that went along with it.
Oh.
I worked a lot of jobs on the side, apart from doing school full-time, such as being a part-time cashier at a coffee shop located in the building of my school campus.
Okay.
Getting paid minimum wage obviously didn't suffice my financial situation, which is why I applied to various jobs online for the latter part of my downtime during work. Paying off student loans wasn't an easy thing for students coming fresh off high school like myself, which is why I would take any small gigs I could get my hands on, like mowing the grass or shoveling snow during the winter time around my neighborhood. I even started babysitting for any close friends or relatives of mine, which is why I tended to ask around the family, and even went as far to ask my fellow colleagues, despite the obvious desperate aura I gave off. I realized that babysitting was the perfect gig for me, as it gave me the opportunity to focus on my schoolwork, while the kids were usually masqueraded in the background, playing their video games or were asleep in their beds. There was this one guy in my class named Jack, who I would usually do assignments and exam preparations with, who referred me to this one babysitting gig he was fond of. Hey, do you still need a babysitting job? Of course, dude. Do you have any? I do. My dad's friend has been asking around for anyone who wants to babysit his kids. Hell yeah. Sign me up, dude. Well, there's a catch. One of the kids is apparently older than us, like in his mid-20s.
Ooh.
What the hell? Why would I babysit a grown man? Well, not to be rude, but he is a little cuckoo. I even remember babysitting for them one time, and it was definitely an interesting experience. How so? He's just a weird individual. Imagine a 5-year-old in a grown man's body.
Oh.
That's how it was like, but
Okay.
at least his parents paid me pretty well.
Okay.
How much? About $200 a night. Plus tip if you did a great job, or if you make it out there alive.
What?
You still interested? Sure, dude. That's when Jack sends me the contact information of the family, as I sat and pondered if taking the gig was a smart idea. I couldn't help but think of my school loans, which is why I highly considered taking the job, as I was in desperate need for any extra income without too much interference in my schoolwork. Regardless or not, I ended up saving the details on my phone and began sitting through the rest of the class lecture till it was time for dismissal. I remember taking public transit when heading home, as I decided to give the number a text, asking if there was any demand for babysitting services readily available. The number texts back, asking who I was and how I got their number. I then responded with my name Matt, and how my friend Jack referred me. The individual then asked if I could babysit for a duration of an entire weekend, which consisted of 3 days and 2 nights.
Okay.
I was honestly hesitant on taking the deal, but eventually...
If I was in your situation, the first thing I would get, knowing it's a full-grown man, I would be getting cameras placing all around. I'll get flashlights. I'll be going 5 Nights at Freddy's with that guy. I'm going to get tasers. I'm going to get an AK. I'm going to get an AK-47 mag. I'm going to get an Abraham tank. I'm going to get everything ready for that dude. If bro tries to hurt me, I'm going to shoot him.
Actually came to terms with it, as the thought of $200 a night plus a tip was a bargain I couldn't turn down. When the day finally came to fruition, I made my way there by taking an Uber and getting dropped off at the address given. As I approached the front of the house, I could see a vague figure staring at me from behind the curtain of the window upstairs.
I don't know what to say. Well, after saying this, get an extra minigun and get a nuclear bomb. Drop in on his house. I don't care if everyone dies. He's probably going to try to kill you.
I assumed that it had to be the older son my friend Jack was talking about.
Oh.
I casually approached the doorstep and began knocking on the door, only to be kindly greeted by the parents and the younger son of the family.
Oh.
Hey, Matt, it's nice to meet you. Hey, listen, I left you guys around $200 on the kitchen counter, just in case you wanted to order something. Awesome, thank you so much. You guys are coming back Sunday morning, right? Yes, sir. I'm sure you'll have a blast taking care of my children. Is there any other kids I should be introduced to? Yes, of course. Here's my youngest son, Timothy. And our oldest son, Charles, he's probably upstairs watching TV or something. Charles! Come downstairs and say hi to your babysitter. Me no like strangers.
What the? He be sounding like Hulk.
Down here or else you're grounded. Leave me alone or I call cops. Sorry for the inconvenience, Matt. You'll eventually run into him. He's usually more friendly when you get to know him.
Oh.
That's all right. I just hope he doesn't mind my company. That's when the dad and mom abruptly zone out, as if my statement had triggered a gaunt emotion. I was a little puzzled at their stare, as it legitimately looked like their souls had left their bodies.
Ooh.
That's when the dad snaps out of it and says, I think you guys should be fine. Me and my wife need to go and celebrate our anniversary now, okay? Just don't forget to fill the Chihuahua's dog bowl when it's empty and call me if you need anything. Alright, Matt? Okay, sir. Throughout the day,
If anything goes wrong, I ain't calling him. I'm gonna be calling 911.
I spent the latter part of my time studying and working on school assignments, while the younger son Timothy played video games on his PlayStation console in the living room.
Okay.
I found it quite peaceful, as the son didn't require much maintenance, nor did the other son, who was allegedly still upstairs in his bedroom. As the sun
Okay,
began to
that's chill.
set, I couldn't help but fix myself a sandwich, as my stomach began to rumble. I remember asking Timothy if he wanted me to fix him something, but it was pretty evident that he was too invested in his video game, while simultaneously chomping on a bag of chips he had sitting next to him.
Oh.
That's when I made it to the kitchen and began spreading peanut butter and jelly on a slice of bread on the
Hey,
counter.
PB&J.
I then saw a family portrait sitting next to the windowsill of the kitchen. I noticed it was a picture of the parents, Timothy, and of course their older son, Charles, who
Ooh.
happened to skyscrape over the entire family from how
Oh.
tall he was. I was a bit taken aback that now I was faced with the responsibility of taking care of a grown man of his stature, considering he was older and a lot bigger than I was.
Yeah.
As I surveyed the kitchen, I began to see more family portraits.
It's like Michael Myers. If he catches you, he can just squash you like... No, it's more like Freddy. Yeah, it's more like Freddy. Or is it more like Jason Voorhees, bro. He can just hold you by the neck and just squish you until your head pops.
Except, the majority of them had another younger boy in the photos.
Oh.
That's when I began to head back to the living room and couldn't help but ask Timothy who the other boy was in the family portraits. Timothy then responds with, His name was Max, and he was my older brother who passed away.
Oh.
I'm sorry to hear that. If you don't mind me asking, how did he die? Apparently my Rottweiler bit him to death while my parents were out of town, which is why they had to give him away and get a Chihuahua.
It is the older brother, the 20-year-old man who has the IQ of a squirrel. He bit his younger brother to death.
Oh my god. I'm so sorry. If I tell you something, do you promise not to tell anyone?
Yes.
Yeah, of course. What is it, kiddo? I don't believe it was the dog. I believe it was Charles that killed him.
Oh.
Why do you say that? Because he's a spoiled brat and I hate him. Why do you hate... Why you talk about me? Leave us alone, Charles. Me no like him, and me no like you. Hey, it's finally nice to meet you, Charles. My name is Matt. No, it's not. Your name is Liar. No, Charles.
Oh.
My name is Matt. You liar. You believe him and no believe me. Charles, I do believe you. Okay? That's when Charles made his
Ooh.
way back to his bedroom upstairs, while intentionally pounding his feet on the staircase and yelling stuff like, You let Doggy kill baby Max. That's why he died, you liar. I then offered to play video games with Timothy, while Charles began making obstructive noises like banging his fists against the wall. I was honestly terrified, but I tried disregarding it, as I wanted to come...
It's like Five Nights at Freddy's. He babysits a kid and then he kills you in the middle of the night. Don't stay there.
For Timothy, who was visibly upset and shaken from the whole confrontation with Charles. The time was around 12 in the morning when it was time to head to bed. I remember tucking Timothy in his bed sheets and then discreetly walking past Charles's bedroom,
Ooh.
in which I could vaguely see him staring at me through the small opening of his door. Hey, Charles, do you need me to get you anything before bed? Yes. Me want you go get cup of Timothy's blood.
What?
Sorry, Charles, I can't do that. Me want to drink your blood then.
What?
Charles, please stop joking. It's not funny. Me no try to be funny. Me just want revenge. Revenge? Revenge for what? Me want revenge for Max. That's when Charles slammed his door on my face, as his intimidation had me shaken to my core. as I began stumbling to the guest room in fear.
You are staying there? Bro, if it was me, I would just book an entire hotel room for like a next door hotel, and I just come in there and you're like, hello, and I'll be, thank you. Then I just buy an entire way and just never go about there.
I then crawled under the bed sheets and honestly couldn't help but think of what Charles meant by revenge for Max, and why the hell he would ask for a cup of mine or Timothy's blood.
Ooh.
Nonetheless, I disregarded the bizarre encounter and began watching some movies on the television to hopefully lull myself to sleep.
Even if you were there, you should just lock the door, barricade it, barricade the windows. Barricade Timothy's room, give him a walkie-talkie. Keep your guns and your tanks and your entire sniper pointing at Big Chungus over there and make sure it doesn't attack you.
About an hour later, I had awoken from my sleep from a loud thud in the hallway.
What?
I decided to check my cell phone for the time. That's when I saw about 100 missed calls and texts from the parents of the boys. I was a bit annoyed at myself, as I could tell that they'd been trying to reach out to me since their initial departure, but my phone was irresponsibly on silent. I then scanned through the messages and could see texts saying stuff like, "Don't forget to give Charles his meds before bed," or "Please find the meds sitting by the kitchen table. He needs to take 2 tablets before bedtime every day."
Oh.
That's when I immediately sprung up from my bed to head to the kitchen. As I opened the hallway, smeared and stained as well, as it honestly looked like a bloodbath or a scene pulled from the horror movie The Shining. "Charles, what the hell happened?" That's when Charles gave me a sinister smile, with blood all over his mouth. I began to zoom past him and into Timothy's bedroom. I then saw his bed, with half of his face obliterated, and his chest cavity opened up, as if a stray dog had viciously tore his limbs to shreds. His internal organs were scattered all over the bed, while his bed sheets were completely soaked in blood. I noticed the Chihuahua was next to Timothy's remains, while whimpering heavily, as if it was just as appalled as I was. No. The dog ate him.
Oh. The dog did not kill him. Okay, that's the end of Freaky Friday videos. By the way, if you think he's suspicious, like this video. If not, you will be babysitting him for 12 months. See you later, guys.